I have a lot to say about this one, and I made a short last night talking about how I honestly wasn't too surprised by the outcome of this game. And you can go watch my breakdown before the game happened. I said this was definitely one of the matchups to watch for a big upset because a lot of things pointed that way. When you just look at the facts, it's not too surprising that Dallas lost this game for the simple fact that they beat up on a lot of bad teams in the regular season. Anytime they played competent teams this year, they lost. They only had one win this year against a team with a record above 500, which was the Philadelphia Eagles, who are in the midst of a self-implosion. And if the Eagles lose tonight, we're going to have to make a video about them, how big of a disaster they've been. So I'd say that's not really the most impressive of wins, beating the Eagles, who are self-destructing. When they played competent playoff teams this year, they lost, and Dak looked bad in all of those games. Week 5 against the 49ers. Dak flamed out and looked awful in that game. You look at the game against the Dolphins, they lost. You look at the game against the Bills, they lost. And now against the Packers, they lost. And it all comes down to the fact that when they played good quarterbacks, above average quarterbacks, they just weren't able to handle it. That goes to, I think, say their defense is certainly overrated, especially their secondary. Like Deron Bland, he makes some cool plays, but in coverage, has gotten exposed multiple times throughout the year. So as much as I like to pick on Dak and point out how overrated he is, this isn't just all on Dak. It also is on the defense, who I think had an overflated reputation around the league because, like I said, anytime they play competent level quarterbacks, they got scorched. And Jordan Love, post the bye, go look at Jordan Love's numbers after the bye this year, and they're literally top 10 quarterback numbers. That's how elite he's been. So going into this game, I really did think there was a chance for the Packers to win this game. I even said in the video, I'm taking the Packers plus the points. I thought Dallas would win, but I didn't think it would be like Dallas having a comfortable win. I didn't have that level of confidence in Dallas whatsoever. So we get into the actual game, and it was a complete travesty for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, complete pathetic performance, specifically on Dak Prescott. And like I said, the defense was bad as well. But Dak in this one was especially just god-awful. Throwing a pick six, throwing another interception. I think for the entire first quarter, he had 0 passing yards. I mean, Dak Prescott was terrible in this game. And, everybody's calling for Mike McCarthy's job to be taken, which I 100% agree with. He's a moron. He should have never been the coach. But why is nobody also calling for Dak Prescott to be traded? Because, you look at time after time, year after year, Dak Prescott is the singular reason why the Dallas Cowboys are not able to win the big games. He's simply not good enough. He's too turnover prone, and anytime he plays competent level teams, he's really good at beating up on the Jets. He's really good at beating up on Washington. But anytime you play in a playoff game, Dak Prescott, time after time, miserably fails. He doesn't have one signature playoff moment, and it's a clear reason that he needs to go. And it's even more crazy when you take into account that his cap hit next year is going to be damn near $60 million. So that's a video we're going to have to make about another time. We're going to have to make that video about their future and their offseason and all that. But just for this single game, I think it is one of the biggest embarrassments in Cowboys franchise history, because you look at the expectations on this team. People really thought that this was going to be Dallas's year. I had people in my comments, I heard people in the national media saying, this year it's different for the Dallas Cowboys. It seems like they finally figured it out. Dak Prescott was an MVP candidate, and look what happens. Same old Cowboys. And we're going to see. Are people finally going to learn from this? I don't think so, because this has been the Cowboys' MO for years now, is to beat up on the shitty teams in the regular season, get to the postseason, and embarrass themselves. But nobody ever seems to learn. So I'm hoping now that we saw that happen, people are finally going to realize this is nowhere near a contending team. They're held back by their quarterback. They're overrated at every position just for the simple fact they wear that star on their helmet. That's all it comes down to.